Hi, this is Gary with MACMOST.com. Let me show you several ways that you could check a web page without using your web browser. Okay, so the idea here is you want to check a website without opening up your web browser. I can go to Safari here and, for instance, check this website to tell me how long wait times are at security at my local airport. It's all right here, and it's good to have this page bookmarked. But every time I visit it, it adds to my history. Maybe I've got some other things going on in the web browser. I don't want to open up a new tab. There are a lot of different reasons. You may just want to check this information and not actually use the browser. So the first one I'm going to show you actually starts with the web browser. You're going to be in Safari and you're going to go to the page and then you're going to use File and then you're going to Add to Dock. Now, this menu item doesn't explain what it's really doing. What it's really doing is creating a web app that you can use to access this page, and in fact, an entire website if you want, as a separate application from your web browser. So let's use it here. And it's going to prompt us for a name in the URL. The URL, of course, is the page here. We want to keep that, but we'll simplify this and call this, say, TSA wait. And I will then add. And what this will do is add this to the dock. Let's quit Safari now and look in the dock here. And we could see there is an icon for that website. It's taken from the website itself, and it's just called TSA Wait. And if we click on it to run it from the dock, it opens up a window that looks just like a web browser and loads up that page. We can check the information. Note that the app is actually named after the website. It's actually kind of running Safari in the background, but it's just doing it like this web page is its own app. And the great thing is it doesn't add to your Safari history. It doesn't interrupt anything that's going on in Safari or open up a new tab or anything like that. Now, it's probably not convenient to have this in the dock. I mean, maybe if you just have one and it's really important. But if you have several, then this is just going to clutter up your dock. So Control click, right click, or two finger click, and choose Options and then Remove from Dock. And now it's not in the dock. But guess what? You can still run it using Spotlight. So Command Space for Spotlight, and then type in the name, or just start typing it in, and you'll see the app is still there, and you can run it here. It's very convenient. So what actually is happening is if you go in the Finder and you go Home, in your user account home folder, there's an Applications folder. And that's where this particular app is going to be placed. It's right there. And you can see it's a tiny little file. If you want to get rid of it, this is where you delete it from. You just drag this to the trash. If you find these videos valuable, consider joining the more than 2,000 others that support MACMOST at Patreon. You get exclusive content, course discounts, and more. You could read about it at macmost.com/Patreon. Now let's look at another way to do it, this time using the Shortcuts app. So I've run Shortcuts here, and I'm going to create a new shortcut. And the first action I want is URL. I'm just going to put that in, and this allows me to enter in a URL. I'm going to paste in a website that gives the water levels in streams near me. So say if I like fishing or rafting or something where I rely on the streams nearby, I may want to go visit this site pretty often. So I've got this here. Now I want a way to view it. So I'm going to use the Show Web View action here. And this is just going to put up a web view without opening up Safari. So when I run this, this is what it will look like. It's going to ask for permission the first time, and it's going to bring it up in a window here. So I'm going to call this water levels, and I could set the icon here if I want. Let's go and do a blue. Let's search for water like that. And now to run this, I don't really have to do much of anything. Now to run this, if I go to Details here, you should see Show in Spotlight. This is new in macOS Tahoe and allows me to run water levels very easily from Spotlight. So I'll quit Shortcuts now and use Spotlight and look for water levels. And it's going to bring it all up in this little window here, and I can scroll through it, and I could press Return. There's actually a button that's a little out of sight for me to dismiss this web view. And it didn't even really launch any kind of app. Now, if I wanted to back in Shortcuts, I could have also gone to File, Add to Dock, and it will add this to the dock. So I could see it right here. I could run it from there, but I can also go to my applications folder in my home folder, and I would see it there as well. For either one of these two, I can also drag and drop an alias somewhere. So I can hold Command and Option, and now this is going to create an alias to water levels, or I could have done it for TSA weight, and I could put this icon anywhere I want. But another cool thing you could do with shortcuts is you could also add them to Control Center, starting with macOS Tahoe. I'm going to bring up Control Center and click Edit Controls there at the bottom. And what I could do here is I could add Run Shortcut. But first I'm going to create another Control Center. And in this Control Center, I'm going to add Run Shortcut here. I'm going to select the shortcut, and I'll choose that water level. Shortcut right there. Done. If I wanted to, I can Control click on it, change it to small size like that. And I could fill this Control Center with other similar shortcuts. So now when I want to run it, I can click on this Control Center, click here. It's going to run it, bring up that web page in a window that I could easily refer to and dismiss. And note that when I was here in the edit mode for Control Center, if I go down to shortcuts and I go to added, notice if I click the plus button here, I could also choose, instead of adding it to Control Center, to add an icon to the menu bar for even faster access, although it has the same problem as the dock in that if you add too many, it's going to clutter things up. Now let's look at one more way. Perhaps the simplest way to do this is to create a webloc shortcut to a web page, or to go to this page here, which gives me the status of various Apple sites, and I click and I drag the URL here. If you click first in here, then you're editing text, then you're dragging text. You don't want to drag the text. What you want to do is you want to not have it selected at all, and quick click and drag, so you're dragging the URL. It's even got the little icon there to the left. Drag that to the Finder. It could be a folder, could be the desktop, and put it here, and you'll get this webloc or web location file. And what this does is you can use this as kind of a bookmark. You can put this anywhere you want, in a folder with other documents, for instance. And if you double click on it, it launches Safari and goes to that web page, kind of like using a bookmark. But here's the thing. You don't have to actually use Safari to view it. You can select this and then press the space bar, which gives you quick look. And for a webloc file, it will load up the page. So I press space, and now in quick look, I get a little view here. It turns out this page needs to be a little bit wider to display all the dots, but for different pages, it may just be fine at the original width. So you get a quick look at the web page without having to leave anything. You're just viewing it in quick look. Here's another example. Here's the National Weather Service page for my location. If I click and drag this out to create a webloc like that, I can quit Safari and then select it, press space, and it loads it up as a quick look window. So these are all handy techniques for quickly viewing the contents of a web page without needing to use your web browser. Hope you found this useful. Thanks for watching.